Hey YouTube, so today I'll be going over the minimum 8 most important flow that you need to have on your web shop website. If you're doing 0k, if you're doing 30k, if you're doing 100k, if you're doing 500k, you just need these. Time and time again, when we take over an email marketing Klaviyo account, uh, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on typically, and one of these things is just like having a basis setup and taking care of um, strictly just before, after, and continuously when your customers are buying. So the most 8 important flows, I have them up here in my tabs. I'll be going over this quickly. So the welcome series is obviously the most important flow. And you shouldn't be, I'll explain this in a bit, but your welcome series is just, please don't make it just, here's your discount code, and then there's a reminder, and then there's, follow us on social media. Please build it out. But the welcome series obviously always generates the most revenue because it's also the sign up and the pop up phone where they come in from the marketing and the ads and so on. And you see there are some in draft, which is welcome series that we built out continuously when we took over this account. Other than that, we have the browse abandonment and the active on site. These two are kind of the same, but these are when they obviously are browsing, and this is just active on site when they're visiting. It doesn't necessarily browse anything. And you can see it's still generating a lot of revenue, a lot of revenue. So make sure that your browse abandonment flow, and I'll be going over this in a bit, and the active on site, that you have them triggered correctly, because you don't want them to get sent an email on the browse abandonment, on the active on site, and if they go into the cart and they go into the checkout, that means they receive 4 emails at once. Make sure you trigger these correctly so you don't spam your customers, and you only send an email to them wherever they are in their customer journey. Other than that, obviously, abandon checkout and add it to cart. These two, you need to define the trigger correctly, because Klaviyo, just as a standard, well, they only have the trigger on the abandoned, or sorry, in the checkout. So even if you have this flow set up like the added to cart, the trigger won't like activate unless they've actually gone into the checkout phase. And this is something that you obviously need to put correctly, because otherwise you're just losing out on easy revenue. Then we have the price drop. Price drop, well, as it makes sense in the word, whenever, and this is just automated regarding coding and integrations. So if something, you just happen to have an offer or something, there's only 2 3 pieces left of this product. Well, if you want to get it sold quickly so you can reinvest in stock or whatever it is, like, have it set up, it's automatic revenue. You might not make that on the bottom line or that much on the bottom line, but you still make some of it. Otherwise, then you wouldn't have made anyways. And then we have the VIP customers, replenishment, the post purchase flows where we ask for a review maybe, and we have the back end stock and so on. So this also is a fashion fashion web shop. Some of these flows might not tailor to your specific niche, but at least for the VIP customers, make sure you treat your loyal customers right. Like, it only makes sense to do that. And then we have these smaller flows. You can see some of these make a lot less revenue than other flows, which is fine. It's just to be that when you ask for a review, you don't necessarily get a like a purchase in return. So yeah, I think that makes sense. And then we have some of these smaller flows down here, like the sunset on engage, which is just so important that you keep your domain healthy in your inbox, and just make sure you don't land in your customers' spam folder. So obviously that's why it doesn't generate any revenue. And then we started a new flow here, which is like a refund flow. So if they refunded anything, well, if they just get a quick, if anything went wrong, well, you can have a discount code, maybe something else, and just make sure to make them buy again. And again, the most important flow is the welcome series. Now, when we build our welcome series, it's not just, oh, here's your discount code, here's your reminder, and please make sure to follow us on the social media. We like to build these out way more. And we see a plus 55% open rate and a high click rate also. So welcome series and campaigns, it can be kind of a mix. We've done it this way, and we do this with all our clients, that we build it out. So we educate them, give them tips and tricks, give them some inspiration, whatever it could be, maybe entertain them also. So for us, we've seen great results with not having just 4 mails. Just keep sending the mails. If the open rating is good enough, the click rate is good enough, obviously just keep on sending some emails and build it out simultaneously with the campaigns. Also here, browser banman. Don't want to go too deep into it, but if they're browsing on a product, why not send them an email to make sure? And again, open rate plus 50%. The click rate is very good, and it also is generating some heavy revenue. And these are just the last 30 days, not the total 4 months. Then we have the active on site, similar to the browser payment, already mentioned about this. But again, you still see the open rate is very good. The click rate is very good. And obviously the fulfilled order is high enough. See, a lot of these has been skipped. Again, make sure that you don't spam your customers. So make sure the trigger is set correctly so they don't receive 4 emails at once. Here we have the abandoned checkout for old customers. This is again treating these customers. You can split test on time delays and part of triggers and so on. Again, very high open rate, very high click rate, and again, generating revenue otherwise that you wouldn't have. It's the same here with the added to cart button. Make sure you trigger this correctly. High open rate, high click rate. Just works. Let me move. Make sure you split test on the different kinds of time delays. This is what I mentioned with the price drop. You see, this is a very high click rate. And at least in Denmark, we have a culture of we love a good offer. So whenever, you can save this, or this product has been dropped by 400 X, Y, and Z, people just click. So that's why the click rate is so high, even though it's a smaller sample size. We don't expect it to be at 20% all the time. So as more volume come in, but we still expect it to be very high in regards to other flows. So one of the last flows that I would mention is like VIP customer. If you have a web shop that has a very high returning customer rate, make sure you take care of your returning customers. And you can do this by, for example, email. You can do it by retargeting on ads when you only market to those people. It could be also by SMS marketing. We do this on this case. I'll make another video on that. But again, VIP customers, very loyal. You see the open rate is very high. The click rate is very high. This is obviously could we do like the year to date? Yeah, so you see, the more people that are coming in, you see the click rate is still very high, which is obviously great. Treat your VIP customers great, and make sure you give them some value. It shouldn't only be offers all the time. So yeah, hopping back to it, this is almost an entire ecosystem. We're missing some flows, obviously, but you see a lot of them are just generating results here and there, getting some good revenue in. Make sure to build them out. Make sure to split test. You can see even in our post-purchase review flow, we're still getting some kind of revenue that we wouldn't have on any otherwise, which is obviously just great. So this was you need to have these flows. Whether you're doing 0, 30, or 100K, you just need these flows. And then continue to build them out in regards to each flow, and chase that revenue and get good results and build a good relationship with your customers. That is the most important thing. So great.